Welcome to Theme Park Universe. It is Friday, which means it is theme park food at home day. And today we have an awesome treat out of Disneyland that, to the dismay of many, is not available at this time. There is kind of a version of it, but the traditional one, it's not there. But fear not, Theme Park Universe is here with a super easy home version that, well, you can make yourself. This week's treat is the iconic gray stuff from my wife's favorite animated Disney film, Beauty and the Beast. Now, in the movie, I do know that what is actually shown is most likely an hors d'oeuvre containing beef pate, and in the live action movie, it's replaced with what definitely looks to be caviar. But we're going to go with the theme park dessert style here today. Now, the gray stuff has actually been used in a couple different dishes in Disney parks, with it on top of a shortbread cookie with red velvet cake and raspberry, then covered in the gray stuff being kind of the most popular version of it. But there has been actually some different seasonal versions of that with some different ingredients, as well as some other versions like the twist. They've also used the gray stuff with some dipping for other treats, which is pretty versatile and can be utilized as a topping or on dip. Just a delicious treat all on its own. So do me a quick favor, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and let's try the gray stuff. And here we go, the gray stuff. We got our friends back here, Mrs. Potts, Chip, Lumiere, Cogsworth. All right, so these are the ingredients you're gonna need to make the gray stuff. All right, so you are gonna need one of these of the Jell-O chocolate pudding. You're going to need a Jell-O vanilla, 3.4 ounce on that. Of course, you're going to need some sandwich cookies. We're going to be using Cool Whip. Now, in the parks, they're definitely not using Cool Whip. They're going to make their own whipped cream from scratch. I definitely suggest doing that. I hate making whipped cream, so I'm kind of cheating here. We're going to use some Cool Whip. Make sure it is thawed out. And then you're going to need some whole milk. As for the things you're going to need a mixing bowl, measuring cup, a whisk there. You're also going to need some measuring spoons, and you're going to need something to blend up the Oreos. I'm going to use the NutriBullet here. You can just use a bag and kind of crush them in the bag if you need to. I will go ahead and go through. So the milk, you're going to need 1.5 cups. The instant vanilla pudding, you're going to need the whole thing. The 3.4 ounce, you're going to need the whole thing of that. You're going to need 15 sandwich cookies. You're going to need a full container of whipped cream if you end up using that. If not, it's 8 ounces. You can use kind of the equivalent of some real whipped cream if you make your own. It'll definitely be better that way. You're going to need only 3 tablespoons of the chocolate there. And then anything you want to top it with, we decided to go with this, the shimmer sugar. I thought that would look really nice in there. In the parks, they do use kind of some pearls, and there is some different ways they do this. They put it on top of shortbreads. I have seen where you can just get like a little cup of it. It kind of depends. It's kind of changed a little bit over the years. My wife's actually going to be making some sugar cookies, so we're going to be putting this on top of the sugar cookies. But these are the ingredients that you're going to need. We'll go ahead and move on to step 1 of making the gray stuff next. In between that, I will go ahead and I'll throw up a list of the ingredients and how much you're going to need of each one. We'll do that right now. All right, and we are ready to get started. First off, we're only going to need these 2 ingredients right here. We're going to need the vanilla Jell-O, and we're going to need the whole milk. So we'll go ahead, we'll open that up, get that out. So we're going to need the whole full package in here. All right, go ahead and dump that in there, the full package. 3.4 ounce vanilla pudding. And then we need 1.5 cups of whole milk. Let's move this out of the way. Put this up here, 1.5 cups. Pour that in. All right, to there. There we go, exactly. 1.5 cups of milk. We'll go ahead and pour that in our bowl here. Looks like Lumiere. Looks like Lumiere wants to look in there. What do you think, my guy? What do you think? What do you think, Cogsworth? All right, so now comes the workout, the arm workout. I should have busted out the KitchenAid mixer. We could have done that. To do that would have speeded up this whole process, but I decided to go old school. We're gonna whisk this, so you wanna whisk this for about 2 minutes until it starts to solidify. Get all the stuff off the sides. Make sure it's all getting down in there. All right, so we want to mix this for 2 minutes. Probably could have went with a smaller container here, but we still have a lot of stuff to add to it. All right, I'll go ahead and skip ahead so you guys don't have to watch the whole 2 minutes of me stirring. All right, there you have it. 2 minutes later, we magically jumped ahead. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put this in the refrigerator. We're gonna refrigerate it for 1 to 2 hours, and then we'll be back for step 2. Part 2, we have our Oreos here now. We have our blender cup, so we're gonna need, pull that open. So 15 cookies. So there's 3, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, little piece there that broke off. And we got our 15 cookies. We'll give these to the kids, the extras. We'll actually probably save a little bit of those to blend up when we're all done to sprinkle on top. So we need to blend this up. We'll get this on here. All right, we're gonna go ahead and blend that. We kind of just want to pulse it. We don't want to, you know, go too crazy here. All right, that did not go as smoothly as I hoped. I wouldn't use a blender like that to blend these up, but I think we got them pretty good here. Make sure we get them all out of there. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and stir this up now. Stir that in there real good. Oh, look at that. It looks like it's starting to turn gray. It's starting to turn gray. Something's definitely happening. Now, you may think this is pretty dark. We got a lot more to add in here. All right, so we'll get that mixed up pretty good. I think that's getting there. All right, so next up, we need our chocolate pudding. So we'll go ahead and get that ready. All right, so we're gonna take 2 tablespoons chocolate pudding mix. There's 1, and there's 2. All right, we got that in there. Go ahead and mix that in a little bit. It's gonna thicken up a lot with that. And now it is time for our whipped cream. A whole tub of whipped cream. We'll go ahead and just scoop that whole tub in there. Here we go. I think that's pretty good. So we'll fold this in here. Mix that up. Gotta mix that up real good. We don't want to like blend the whipped cream. We just kind of want to fold it in. It's definitely turning gray. So we're gonna stir this for maybe a minute, and then this will go back in the fridge for an hour. We'll go ahead and jump forward and see what we end up with. And here you go. Boom, the gray stuff. And as you can see, it made quite a bit. I already took some out of here. I put it in a piping bag. So this is what you're gonna want. If you're kind of doing it to traditional, like Disney way that they usually use in the parks, you would put your cookie down, you'd put your red velvet cake, your raspberry, and then you would put it in the piping bag and just go around in circles. We got some stuff stuck in there. All right, well, we'll go ahead. So we're not gonna do the cookie thing. We have a bunch of desserts here. I'm on a diet, so I don't need any more. So we're kind of just gonna Gonna have it as like a mousse, and I'm looking forward. It looks like we didn't break up all the cookies very good. If you're gonna do the piping bag, make sure you break up the cookies really, really good. We also got some of this just to give it a little bit of shine, a little bit of sparkle. In the park, they put big, huge sugar balls on there that, you know, kind of give it a look. But this is our finished thing. So this is what you're going to use. And in the park, they've done quite a few different things. I'm going to go ahead and try this out to see how it is. All right, let's try it out. Ooh, that's good. All right, that's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Super easy to make. No cooking involved. No cooking. Really easy. If you like cookies and cream, you're going to like this. It's kind of like a cookies and cream mousse, but you can use this, the gray stuff. There it is right there. That's the gray stuff. You can use it in a lot of other recipes and stuff like that. And it looks like Cogsworth, Mrs. Potts, Chip, Lumiere. Look at Lumiere looking at it. Look at that. Look at that. He looks pretty impressed. He seems pretty impressed. I really enjoy it. You should definitely check this out. Really, really easy recipe. All the ingredients are pretty easy to get your hands on. I suggest giving this one a shot. Let me know in the comments if you do. Are you going to go all out? Are you going to make the shortbread cookie? All that stuff. Definitely a lot better than, you know, the beef pate that I think was what it was really meant to be. I think the parks, it was a good choice to go with the dessert version here. I really enjoyed it. I suggest checking it out. Maybe I'll try making the beef pate one at some time to see what that's like. I wouldn't be super excited about that. I'm not a fan of beef pate, but hey, maybe we'll give it a shot. Maybe we'll give it a shot. But I want to thank you guys for joining me on this video. Do me a favor if you're new, hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, and we hope to see you on the next one. Shows World, out.